Hi everyone. Welcome in. Hope you're okay. Hi Nancy. How are you doing? 3 minutes. I saw that and made me laugh. Just wait a few minutes for other people to come in. I can't actually see how many are here, but thank you for joining us. Hi Katrina. Welcome in. How are you? So today's live is Gina and I are going to be answering questions from my tutorial for the knit along last week. We have managed to answer some of your questions, and then I'm going to answer a couple and Gina's going to answer a couple as well, and then we're going to throw it open so everybody in the chat can ask any questions they've got. Hi Ingrid, hi Nancy, hope everybody's well. So we'll just wait. So do you want to say something, Gina? Say hello or
I just want to say good morning to everybody. We're glad that you're here, and we're looking forward to hearing any questions you might have for this. So.
Yeah, and I must say, both Gina and I are absolutely blown away by the response we've had to this, Cal. We were a bit nervous to begin with, but oh my word, we are just delighted with the response we've had, and your photographs and the yarns that you're using. That has been so exciting for us to see, hasn't it, Gina?
Absolutely.
All the different colours, different weights of yarn, and it's been really exciting. So we're like, whoa, we're like little girls in a candy shop seeing all your photographs. They're just wonderful. So hi Sunita, hi Donna, hi Hannah, hi Julie. Everybody's coming in. So we're just blown away. Hi Evelyn. All the different colours you just can't imagine, and some look like confetti, and some are using solids, some are using irrigated. I nearly said variegated. Some are it's just amazing the amount of yarn that is out there, and how lucky we are that there is that much yarn available to us. So thank you so much to everybody who's joining us. My biggest question was about placing the stitch marker, but I've got it now, lol. Thank you so much to both of you and Gina for doing this. You're more than welcome. And stitch markers are something that you either love them or you hate them. I know Gina uses stitch markers a lot more than I do. I only use stitch markers for the tutorial. When I'm not doing the tutorial and I'm knitting, I never use stitch markers, and it's just the way that I was taught, and kind of I wanted to say something as well. You don't always have to use the stitch marker. You can use yarn and make a loop, can't you, which will be easier than the metal rounds. Well, that's what when I knitted before.
May I say something? There's also another thing you can do if you don't really, I mean, it sounds kind of cheesy, but this works super well. If you guys don't, because sometimes the metal stitch markers can be expensive. You can take a plastic straw, and you can cut it up ever so thinly in just a small ringlets, and you can use those as stitch markers as well. And then if you drop one or lose one, it's really not that big of a deal because it was a plastic straw.
Yeah. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Katrine. Hi, Kerry. Hi, Renee. Hi, Suze. Hi, Rosemary. Hi, Marsha Lee. Oh, Triple C Raid, thank you. Thank you so much. That's very nice of everybody popped by. So the first question that I was asked was, do you have to use beads? And the answer is no. At the end of the day, it's your shawl. If you don't want to add beads and you don't feel that beads will go with what the yarn you're using, there is no, there's no rule that says you have to use what was the total? Beads. You don't have to use them. In my first one, I never used beads because I didn't think that this shawl needed it because it was variegated, plus it had a gold thread through it. So I thought that was blingy enough. I'm not sure. Gina, did you use beads in yours? No.
Nope, this one is my first one back here, and it doesn't have any beads on it at all.
Yeah, so it's entirely up to you. There is no, it's entirely your choice depending on what you're using and that. So that's the first question that I was asked. I can't remember what the other one was. Do you want to go on?
Yeah, may I say something? The pattern as written, when you open up the pattern, again, this is the Ashton Shawlette, the link's down in the description box. Linda and I worked on converting the chart to text. There is a link right below the pattern if you want to print that out as well, so you can, check yourself on being able to read a chart. Now, what we did, the chart does not have bead placement on it. What we did was we showed you where to place the beads, or where we're going to place the beads in the text pattern. And what you'll see is that the stitch is highlighted in yellow, and that's where we're placing the beads on our second shawl. So I know that the charted pattern doesn't have bead placement, but if you print out the text pattern, you can see what we're thinking about it. And you don't have to do that. If you want to put the beads in a different place, this is your shawl. You can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Yes, so I mean, as Sarah's saying, her yarn is twinkly, so there's no. I may, and I think I may add some beads to the spikes at the end. That's fine. You could add beads around the edging, which will look just as pretty. It's up to you. It's your shawl at the end of the day. And it's up to you to decide what you do. Evelyn's thanking so much for the written instructions. You're more than welcome. I did email you some pictures, Gina. And do I post the photos in your group as well? Yes, that's something I wanted to talk about as well. Hi, Alma. Hi, Carla. In my group where we're putting our photographs, if you click on the top, there's all different, and it says media. If you click on media, it says photographs, and then it says some videos, and then it says albums. If you click on albums and I've already started the album for our shawls. So if you can drop your photographs in that album, that would be immensely helpful to us at the end, where we can do our slideshow and we can just pick them up from the album. So thank you for reminding me of that, Ingrid. That's brilliant. Hi, Monty boy.
May I say something also about the pictures?
Yes, of course.
Also, we're seeing people post them in Instagram, using the hashtag Simpson TurnPike Cow. And I would like to ask if you could do Linda and myself a favor. If you are just using your pictures posted in Instagram, I cannot download those or copy them. So if you could also email us, our emails are in the description box, so that we can have a copy to use for the slideshow at the end, that would be awesome. I would really appreciate that, because I can't.
Yeah, I mean, we appreciate you. Yeah, well, I mean, we appreciate you putting them on all the social media sites. Thank you so much for that. But as Gina said, if you could email us a photograph, either Gina or myself, or both of us, that would help us immensely. So towards the end, we're not racing around trying to find photographs, because at the end of the day, we don't want to miss off anybody who's taking part in this, Cal, because you are putting the work in just as much as we are. you're putting just as much work in as we are doing, and we don't want to, at the end of, you know, when the cowl actually finishes on the 20th of November, we don't want to have missed anybody off, and we would both be mortified if we did. So for that, we would be eternally grateful if you could email us photographs. And this past few days, I've noticed lots and lots of photographs of you on, and you're all doing brilliantly. I'm so pleased that you're doing brilliantly. It's excellent news. And thank you for mentioning people to put the thumbs up. Thank you, Debbie. And I know Katrina did as well before. So do you want to answer some of the questions? I can't think of the other one that I mentioned, and I can't for the life of me.
I have a couple that were asked, and I believe some of these were asked like in the chat, and we answered them, so you can see that. But just want to bring it to attention here. One person asked if they were worried about their edge stitches, like the last two edge stitches being a little bit looser than the first ones, and or the middle stitches. And I think the way that the knitting's wrapping up, that can sometimes happen. And I told this person, do not worry about that. When you get to the end, blocking is going to, correct any little, you don't want to be so picky about every little stitch. You want the blocking will help, and you actually probably would like to have that extra little bit of give so that your shawl can stretch out and open up the lace.
Yeah, and it adds, it'll, once you've blocked it, it will straighten. Because you're stretching it, when you block it, it will actually straighten it out. So at the moment, don't worry about the knit 2 stitches at the front, at the beginning and the end of every row. Just don't worry about that. It all will come good at the end.
Exactly. Looks like we got some more people here. Go ahead. Sorry.
Hi, go forth and knit. I'm sorry, I don't know your first name.
That's David.
Oh, hi, David. Nice to see you. Thank you for stopping by. I think that's the first time you've been on my channel. Thank you. Thank you for dropping by. I tried the open written text just now in Safari, but it says it doesn't exist. Is it because I'm not in Google?
It's possible. I put that in Google Drive to be downloaded. I can email it to you, Debbie, if you prefer. I know you've emailed me. I can email it to you if you want me to do that, if that'd be easier.
Yes, that's true, Katrine. Katrine says blocking the lace will change it so much you will be happily shocked. It will. And when you block it, it'll open up the lace work even more. Kind of like, let me just show you mine. So while you're knitting it, I'm stretching it so you can see it. But if I just leave it on the needle, you can't. But I'm stretching it so you can see the lace.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really, really pleased with this color. So yeah, and the beads just pop every now and then.
They're so pretty, the pearl beads.
Really... I know, I love pearl beads. Hi, Joe Lord. Thank you for stopping by. And Gina, he's saying hello to Gina.
Hi, Joe. It's nice to see you. How have you been? And I see the question from Ingrid. I can email you the text document as well. Not a problem.
That's great. Finally finished row 5 on the chart. Brilliant, Wilma. Brilliant. That's excellent. So do you want to answer the question about the yarn over?
Yeah, we had a question about yarn overs. Yarn overs are on the edges. You start each row with a yarn over and end it, or you have at the ending of that section, you have a yarn over, which is right before the center stitch. Then you have do it again. You have to do this twice. So you have 4 yarn overs on every right side row. And there's some questions about how can you tell which side they're supposed to be on. You can always compare it to your chart. It's always going to be, you're going to have 2 edge stitches. it's really, really easy for a yarn over to slip under like a stitch marker. Like right here, it's easy for it just to slip under. So I don't know if I'm showing that close enough.
I'll put you solo so you can show it, and then you're not fighting against.
Okay, I also have another string in there, which is my Lifeline, but it's real easy for this to just slip under. Like, let's see if I can slip it under. I do have a Lifeline, but it can slip under on the wrong side. You just want to push it to the other side. You know, you're going to have 2 edge stitches. You're going to have 1 center stitch, and you're going to have 2 edge stitches on the other side. So if you see 3 stitches on each end, or if you see 2 stitches in the middle, your yarn over is just crept over your stitch marker. You would just move it back, and just you can also verify by counting. You know, each one of these little squares on your chart is a stitch. So you can do the total number counts and just do a quick count, and just see how many stitches you have on each side of your stitch marker. And that's another way to verify it. This is why charts are so valuable, because it teaches you how to read your knitting. It teaches you how to line up your knitting, because on some of this stuff, like for instance, you can see like this will be over this. And if it's not, if you get to that point in your knitting and you don't see things lining up right, there's something not working. You've made some type of mistake. So you can go back right then and correct it, instead of having to see it at the end of the row and undo the whole row. That's what I love about charts, is when I started using them and using them more frequently, I was able to catch my mistakes a lot quicker.
Yeah. And Wilma's asking, what is a Lifeline?
Do you want to answer that, or do you want me to answer that? I have one of my...
When you've put your Lifeline in, I've not put my Lifeline in yet, because I've not started chart 2.
Okay, let's see. I hope you can see this. Can you guys see that piece of white thread that's in my knitting?
Just make you solo.
Okay. Can you see this piece of white thread right here that's in my knitting easily?
Yes.
That's called a lifeline. And as you can see, it hangs on each side of my row. All I'm using, which you want to use, you just take or what I do, there's different ways you can put them in. I just use a tapestry needle, get a piece of thread or a scrap piece of yarn, insert it under every one of the stitch, and you just leave it in. And the reason why you want to leave it in is because if I make a mistake and I want to start over, I don't have to completely start over. I could rip back to that point. All of your stitches are going to be caught on this Lifeline. So it's a way to just, take your stitches off the needle, rip back to that point. Your stitches will all be caught, and you can start right back there. I know that is the beginning of chart 2 for me. You put them in at strategic points, or whenever you feel like you should. If you feel like you see a section that looks a little bit more complicated and you're worried you might make a mistake, put a Lifeline in before you start that. If you have to rip it back, it's a lot easier than having to undo every stitch and try to worry about dropping your stitches as you go along.
Yeah. So we've got a few new people here. Yes, learning to count my stitches now. That's Monty Boy. Rosemary wants you to email the written instructions.
Okay.
Debbie loves that she gives us stitch count. Oh, Debbie says, I love that she gives us the stitch count. Dana is here. She says, hey, Linda. Hey, Gina. Katrina saying hello. Petra's here. Hi, Petra. Evelyn, she uses dental floss, which is another really good one. Katie.
Don't use the waxed version, though. Just use regular dental floss.
Yeah, regular. Hi, Sandrine. Hi, Carla. Mama G's here. Hi, Mama G. Catherine says she always runs a Lifeline every 10 rows to save, from counting the rows, which is good.
When you're done, all you're going to do, if you didn't use these at the very end, you'll just take it out. It's a great little thing to have there in case you feel like
if you do, and especially if you're new to this type of knitting, the Lifeline is a lifeline. Believe me, if you've done so many rows and you've got to frog it all down and you know, trying, especially with lace, that lifeline is a blessing in disguise, I'm telling you.
And I want to say one quick thing is at the beginning of my tutorial for chart 2, I do show how I do it. So if you're worried about how do I do all of that, it's not hard, but I do show it at the beginning before I start my chart 2.
That's brilliant. Thank you. Hi, Sandy. How are you? Hugs to you too. And Wilma's saying a good idea, Katrin. And hello, everybody. I can't talk. I'm putting the boys to sleep, but I'm listening. That's fine, my own utopia. Hi, Mama G. I made it through 2 repeats of chart 2. Excellent. Well done. You're getting ahead of me. And I'm one of the hosts. I'll be doing that. Hi, Ursula.
Hi, Ursula.
Did you manage to make a start? Hi, Erica. Oh, it's lovely to see you, Erica. How have you been? I've not seen you for a while. Hi, Dragon B. She's learning Tunisian.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, and good for chart 2 because I'm concerned about the blue area multiple times. I can understand that, and I'm sure Gina will go through all of that in her tutorial, which goes live on next Tuesday, is it?
I think the 14th is the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, next Tuesday. And many circular needles have a hole at the join that will automatically carry a lifeline as you knit. Very true. Mine does.
Mine don't. I have the ones that don't. But I do have a pair that do. But these pair do not.
Oh no, this pair doesn't. It's got a hole, but it's not. It's not right the way through.
But some of them do. You're right. You can put that, and as you knit along, it'll just run through. Just have to be careful not to catch it. So
yeah. Sandy says I do use the wax dental floss to tie off the center when I make pom-poms. It really snugs down the center and keeps the strands. Yeah, that's good for that. Sandy, I'm great, lol. Several videos up, lol. Yeah, excellent. Ursula, I've got lovely bamboo needles with the plastic circulars. Love knitting with bamboo. I'm using a thinner yarn and I've got the beads. Gorgeous. Excellent. Have you made a start, Ursula? I know you were making a start after your live. That's what, let me just show. So Evelyn says, that's what gave me trouble last night. I had to use the written instructions. Yeah. That's why we decided to do the written as well. So you've got the best of both worlds. Still very new. Yeah. We can totally understand that, Ingrid. I think we've all been there at some point.
Absolutely.
And what time on Tuesday is the tutorial? It's a video, so I'm not sure what time have you scheduled your tutorial to go live on Tuesday?
Let's just pick a time. How about, since we're doing the 10 o'clock, I'll put 10 a.m. Central Standard. That's for me. And
it'll be 11 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah. 4 o'clock British Standard Time.
Yeah, 4 o'clock British Standard Time. We're getting there now.
I'm learning my conversions easy.
I know it's. Linda says, I haven't started yet. I just can't decide what yarn to use. I'm in the UK. Any suggestions, Linda and Gina? Are you? First of all, are you new to knitting? If lace knitting, I would use a DK maybe, because it's a little bit thicker than a finger in weight, and it might help you better. Would you agree with me there, Gina?
Absolutely, absolutely. That was the other thing, is that, you can do this in the other weights. Now, if you guys are interested in using worsted weight, I don't want to go off into too much of a long tangent on this, but on page 12 of the pattern, it talks about worsted weight version. There's a little bit of a modification, but you can totally use worsted weight. You would use a US size 8 circular needle, 32 inches, and you need about 400 yards of the worsted weight. If you're going to make it the way that the pattern says, if you're going to make it bigger, for each repeat, you would add like 100 to 125 more yards of worsted weight.
That's very sweet of you to say, Kerry. She says, you two are wonderful together, a great team. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Chris. And Sarah, Crafty Moo is on row 7 of chart 2. Excellent, Sarah. And yes, Ingrid, 4 o'clock British summertime is 5 o'clock for you in South Africa. Been knitting a long time, but never a lacy shawl. Well, Linda, I would suggest try a double DK. Try a DK, acrylic DK or a DK, especially if it's your first lace and that. But hi, Trish. Welcome in. When first starting lace knitting, DK is easier. Yes, it is. Thanks. And people are under the same. I love your makes, Linda. Oh, thank you.
Me too.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I was thinking double knit. Would I use bigger needles?
Yes.
Yes. I would go to a 5mm needle. And then you'll get the drape then, because you're using, you see, I'm using the 4mm needle, and this is a finger weight. So I would, be able to get the drape on yours using a DK, I would use a 5mm, or even maybe 5.5, depending on, how the yarn is. But yeah, try that. If it wasn't for you two lovelies, I wouldn't have started. So thank you so much. Oh, you're more than welcome. Thank you. That's very nice to say that. Yeah. So it is, isn't it? And we do appreciate you all taking part. And we know there's, there's a lot of crocheters out there that have joined us as well. So thank you so much for joining us in the live.
Very proud of you guys for doing this. It's good to challenge yourself. So yeah, you're doing great.
Yeah, you are. I mean, we have just been blown away by the amount of people that are actually taking part. We really are, aren't we? Because we're aware that, kind of there are crocheting is kind of the main how can I put it, hobby. No, I don't mean that. Crocheting is more popular than knitting, but kind of we felt that there was a need. I mean, when Gina approached me about it, it was like, oh yes, I'm all for this. Let's do it. So it's something that we're just so pleased with. People supporting us through this, and that means an awful lot to both of us, doesn't it, Gina?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's very nice, to know that there's interest. I know I've had comments, before, people want to learn how to do a lace shawl. So I'm really happy that we can do this and that you guys want to participate.
Can you answer this? Because I think, you've got more experience using, doing the crochet shawls. Answer this for Chris.
Okay, let's see. Shawl. I have shawl and a cake, which is listed as a 4, but it is clearly only a weight 1 or 2 would be a stretch. It's only 481 yards. So you say 400 yards on Aran. Would this be enough yarn? Yeah, I think so. As long as you do. The reason why I said the additional yarn is that you, okay, let me kind of explain. That's if you're going to do the additional repeats. There's 2 places in this pattern where you can add if you want to make it bigger. It's in chart 2. You can do additional repeats, or in chart 3, and we'll walk you through that. But if you want to make something, sometimes people want to make something so you can kind of really wrap up in. That's kind of what we're talking about. But if you're going to make it just like the pattern says, which is a nice size shawl, this shawl I made behind me is made just like the pattern. You need like 420 yards of a fingering, 420 to 450 yards of a fingering weight. So for the worsted weight, you would need about 400 yards as per pattern. And for DK, you might need probably around the 420. I just say 420 to 450 just to be safe. You may not even need that much. So it's the 481 yards. Sounds like it would be perfect size for this.
Yeah, and Erica says shawl in a cake is listed as a 4 weight because it has a halo and different thickness throughout. Thank you for that. Now, if you don't do the repeats, hands up, and I've said it. This is how big mine turned out. My first one. And the only reason it turned out this big is because I used the wrong size needles. But, all right, it's not big enough to be a shawl, but I can still use it as a cowl in the winter under my coat. So, kind of you will, if you feel like it's a bit small when you've finished it and you've not done the increases, you can still use it. But if you've used the correct needles or bigger needles, and you will get the drape kind of, you didn't do any extra on yours, did you, Gina?
No.
But Gina's has used the correct needles.
And it turned out to be, I block really aggressively. It was 68 inches across the top and 27 inches on the center spine from top to bottom. The pattern, as she says, like when she blocked hers, Dee O'Keefe, hers was 52 inches across the top, 26 inches from top to bottom along the center spine. So that kind of gives you a point of reference of how big it is per the pattern. And if you want to make it a little bit bigger, that's when you add the additional repeats. Yeah, I believe for worsted weight, she says if you do a worsted weight yarn, or DK would probably be a little bit closer to the worsted weight size. When you block it, it's going to turn out to be about 54 inches across the top across the top, and 27 inches from top to bottom and along the center spine.
Yeah,
they're pretty comparable in size, even though and that's because for the worsted weight, you're only going to do a smaller amount of repeats on one of the charts.
Yeah, and Grandma Jeannie has asked Chris, what color do you have? And they between the two of them, if Grandma Jeannie, she's going to send some yarn to Chris for it, which is really, really sweet of you, Jeannie. And hello and welcome. I didn't say hello to you before, so welcome. And this is what the community is all about, helping each other. And this is what we just love. Can you show us how to hold the yarn in your right hand while knitting? This is going to be fun. Right, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to send me to solo. Is that all right?
Absolutely. And I still have 2 other questions, just so you know, for your benefit after this.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'll just send me to solo. Okay, so I'm going to stand. I hope you can see this. Right, okay. So I hold my... Let me get this. Sorry, guys. It's not working. Let me just get it to where I can knit it. There we go. So this might be a bit awkward, and it might look back to front to you. Let me just see. So I hold my yarn like that. Can you see? Mm-hmm. So it's wrapped around this ring finger and comes. So it goes round this finger and it drops down, and then I hold my needle. There we go, between my thumb and my other finger, so it rests there like that. That's how I hold my needle, and I just, let me see with it, and I always hold it there. I'm not a continental knitter by any means. So if I do this, and I can show you what I'm doing.
But you can also see it in your tutorial because you have an action as well. So
yeah, I do. So I hope that helped. I can't kind of move the camera because I've only got the one camera, as you can imagine. So, but the tutorial, you can see exactly. If you slow the video, you will be able to see how I hold it. And I have it rested between my thumb and this finger. And my yarn is wrapped around this finger and drops down here.
May I say something as well? I don't hold my yarn like anybody else I've ever seen. And I think sometimes you can kind of get wrapped up on that. As long as you're tensioning it, you know, and you can practice with it, you know, make some small washcloths to get your tensioning, the way you hold it down. Don't worry about holding it exactly like somebody else. Do what's comfortable for you. And, you know, it's no right or wrong way to hold it. It's what works the best for you.
Yeah. So do you want to, yes, that helped. It's different from how I hold while crocheting, and it's different for me when I hold because I'm left-handed. So, you know, kind of, and no matter, can I just say, no matter how you hold your needles, if it's comfortable for you, then it's right for you. It might not be right for me, and it might not be right for Gina, but whatever is right for you, that is the correct way. And don't let anybody say, oh, you're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong. Well, at the end of the day, you're the one that's doing the knitting.
Exactly.
Not Fred on the street or Jamie. It's you, and you knit how and hold your needles, which is comfortable for you.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So do you want to answer the questions? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, David. That's very sweet of you to say. I'm so nervous doing that tutorial. I can't begin to tell you.
Oh, it was great. It was really great. You did great.
Go on, do you want to...
Yeah, the other couple of questions I had, and it may not, you guys may already know this because your guys are already into chart 2, but the question I had was about this, like on row, when you go to like row 15, there's a number 15 right there in the center of the chart, and a number 17 above that, and a number 19 above, no, a number 10 above that. So somebody was asking what those numbers meant, and it's basically just a way to help you know exactly how many stitches, knit stitches there are. There are 15, so there's 15 there. There's 15 knit stitches between the 2 yarn overs for that row. A way to double check it is you can count each one of these squares, and you'll see that there's 15 of those. But it's just a way for the designer to help you not have to count those all the time. And so if you see those numbers, just know that it means there's that many of that type of stitch in between the 2 different types of stitches that there are on that row. So that was one question I had. And then the other question I had was about the number of beads that are required. We added that back down into the description. We added that into the description box below, but I just kind of did a rough count, and I'm thinking about 500 seed beads based on how we highlighted those stitches to put the beads on. So if you have about 500 beads, you should be doing okay.
Sorry, I'm just getting the link for the, sorry about that. I was just getting the link. Paste. So that is the link for the tutorial. I can't remember who asked for it.
Oh, Sylvia did.
Sylvia. So there's the link for the tutorial, Sylvia. Linda, Grand Rising, and how are you? I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for asking. Always get extra beads. Some holes might, not be drilled. Yes, and I bought. How many beads did you say, Gina? I missed that.
I guesstimate about 500 beads.
Well, I've been greedy.
Beads are fun to buy. Beads are fun to buy. Beads are almost as fun to buy as it is to buy yarn. It's like
I know. So there's like, it doesn't say how many, so it says 200 grams. So I bought 3 of them just in case.
I think that's great. It depends. A lot of beads will do by the grams. It depends. If you're buying, sometimes they'll write it in the description, 20 grams equals 248 beads. It is kind of dependent upon the bead manufacturer. So try to look in the description where you're buying it to see how the conversion, 20 grams equals so many beads. You'll have to do a little bit of math, but we all like to do math if we're knitters and crocheters, right?
Right. Okay. So, Crystal says, I have a few questions on Linda's video. Keep in mind, I'm a beginner. Linda, could you do another video with a closer look on casting on? Now, Divergent Crafter, if you go to my YouTube channel, I have already got tutorial for casting on. I can't remember if you go to my playlists, and it says crochet tutorials, something like that, and there's three videos, and one of them just show you how I cast on, and that's how I cast on. So if you want to check that out first and then get back to me, email me, and I'll go from there. But I have already done tutorials on how to cast on.
David has a really good question, and he's absolutely right. I kind of forgot to mention that. He says, if we want to make the larger sizes shawl, do we double yarn and beads? Now, I don't think you need to double it. I mean, if you want to make sure you have the right amount, yes. But for each repeat that you're going to do of your shawl, the Dee O'Keefe kind of recommends 100 to 125 extra yards of your yarn. So that's kind of a measure. If you're going to do 5 additional repeats, 5 times 125 should give you the right amount of yarn. Now for the beads, we're not beading. We're only beading like a couple of rows in each chart, except for the last chart. There's 4 rows with beads. You want to get some extra, and also like, who said that earlier about there? It depends also the quality of the beads. Sometimes you'll get beads that don't have a hole that you can put them through easily, so you can't use them. So I definitely buy extra. If you want to make sure you have enough, doubling is probably a good rule of thumb. Probably don't need that many, but to be safe, if you want to, I just don't want you to have a lot of beads left over, unless you're going to use them for another project, maybe.
Yeah, I'm just looking to see if I can find the crochet.
One way you can do it, if you want to be exact. Now, the text in the text, written text, the beaded stitches are highlighted, and if you're going to repeat a section, you could count how, the number of beads in that section, multiply it by the additional number of repeats, and that would tell you how many extra beads you want to buy.
Right. Okay. So Divergent said, Crystal. Also, is there a video on front back knit? No, there isn't. But we can. I
have a tutorial on one if you don't want to do that, Linda. But if you do, that's totally fine.
Yeah. Well, what I can do is, what day are we on? So next Tuesday. I won't be able to do it, and it'll go live next Tuesday. I'll have a cast on and a back forth knit. So let me just write that down so I don't forget. So it's a cast on and back forth knit, and that's the increased row, isn't it? Increased stitch, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Back front knit. Right. Okay. I'll get that out and it'll be out next Tuesday for you. I'll get that done. I'm through the third repeat of the chart 2 and adding a lifeline. I can't tell you how good I feel working successfully from the chart. Well done, Joyce.
That's great.
Yeah, and Katie, when I did the first 4 rows of chart 2, I forgot chart is only half of shawl. So I had to frog 4 rows. Oh, that's, I know, we've all done it. I tell you, when I first did mine, I frogged it, didn't I, Gina?
Yep.
Hi, Reggie. Hi, Kath. Did you get, Sylvia said, did you get email off my yarn and needles? She sent you an email.
Yes, we got that.
Yeah. I have never attached beads before. Do you have to put them on? No, if you don't want beads on your shawl, that's what I said at the beginning, Linda. You don't have to add beads to your shawl. It is entirely up to each individual. My first shawl and Gina's first shawl, we didn't add beads. This time we've added beads to show people how to do it. You don't have to do it. It's entirely up to you.
Right.
Bye, Jessica. Thank you for stopping by. I've watched Gina's to make sure I was doing the increase right. That's fine. Yeah, I know Gina's done a tutorial on the back front knit, haven't you?
Yes, long time ago, one of my first videos. Yeah.
No, Crystal, no question is stupid. If you don't know, always ask, and we are more than happy to help. That's what we said at the beginning, didn't we?
Yes, absolutely. No questions. We're all learning, and people that are at different levels in this. So we want everybody to have fun, no stress, and be successful. So ask any question, please. We welcome everyone.
And Jennifer's knitting sunflowers. Nice.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Bye, sister to sister. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget the thummies, guys. Thank you. Right, what's Hi, Reggie. We seem to be stalking each other. Oh, yeah. We were stalking each other at Ursula's. They were stalking each other at Ursula's. Beads add a nice weight to the shawl. You'll love the... What was it? You'll love the look, yes. But if you're unsure, there is no pressure to add beads. It's entirely up to each individual. Don't worry about it, Linda. What I would suggest is just do your shawl with your DK, with your needles, and do the shawl. When you've done the shawl and you've finished it and have another go, try it again and try it with beads at your own pace. There's no pressure on adding beads whatsoever.
Right.
Sylvia, can't wait to get started. Hi, Miss Jeannie, welcome in.
Hi,
You're
Jean.
more than welcome, thank you. Yeah, I'm still thinking about if what's this from Joyce? I'm still thinking about if I'll add beads much later in the pattern. Might have a question about it then. That's fine. I mean, Gina and I are adding beads all the way through. You might do it on... You might add your beads on the leaves here. You might add your beads here. Or you might add your beads on each point. It's entirely up to you. At the end of the day, it's your shawl, isn't it, Gina? It's your shawl. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. That's very nice. Gina's here to support us both. She doesn't knit, but that is brilliant. Thank you. And I'm seriously considering joining in on this, Cal, but I have zero time to work on it, and I'm afraid I'll be discouraged by how far along everyone else is. The videos will always be here. Reggie, you do it when you can. There's no problem.
We would love to have you join us, though. If you can, if you can't,
Yeah.
I understand, but.
Yeah. What's Katrine says beads can be sewn on after knitting if you really want it. It is fiddly. The shawl will be stunning without them. Yes, it will. Have you got anything else you want to say, Gina?
Yeah, I have a couple of this isn't about the shawl per se, but I just want to make one more. I've mentioned it at the beginning, but just as a reminder, you guys are sharing all of your pictures with us on Facebook and then Linda's Facebook group, on Instagram, using the hashtag Simpson TurnPike Cal. For those that are doing their pictures on Instagram, this is just another reminder. Please email them to us because I can't download the pictures out of Instagram, and we're starting to collect everything to get so we don't have to do so much work at the end. So if you guys are posting pictures, please just email us that. And also, please don't forget to give, if you could tell us if you give us permission to use your picture and your name in the slideshow at the end, because we want to showcase everybody's work at the end. And if we don't get your permission, we won't be able to show your work. And so we do want to show it. So just make sure you let us know that we have permission to show your shawl and what name you would like for us to use. Because some people just go by, a tag name and not their name. So
yeah. Bye to everybody who's leaving. Granny Ursula says is 500 beads per shawl an average.
Yeah. That I kind of just guesstimated it. I didn't count them. I didn't count them. I should have, but I was just also fudging it just a little bit because of what Katrin said about how you do want to add an extra amount to it, because some beads, the quality can be some of them you can't use and they'll be too small. So
yeah. Hi, Squishy and Sylvia. What is the beautiful piece in the background? Do you mean the background on the screen here, where we're sitting, where you can see us the blanket? Is that what you're talking about? The pink and the cream and the purple, Sylvia? Thank you so much for lurking and crocheting and supporting us, Katrina. Much appreciated. Hi, HD. That's a good. I might add. Alma's going to add some beads later.
Okay.
That's good. That's good. Yes, it's. Let me just show you. It's a crochet project. I'll just put myself solo. Is that all right, Gina?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's my Starbase blanket.
That is stunning. Oh my goodness. I love that.
And it's crocheted. It's the first Starbase blanket I've ever done.
It's really beautiful.
So I'm really proud. I mean, I learned the puff stitch, the front post, back post, the bobbles. I learned so many stitches doing this blanket. I really enjoyed it.
Is it circular or is it square?
No, it's star.
Oh, how nice. So it's a star shaped. It just continues with the star.
Yeah. Hi, Granny D. Granny D's here. I got through the first 12 rows. Oh, wow. Who's got through the first 12? Laura Lee has done the first 12 rows. Brilliant. Just dropping by to show love and support. Love you both. We love you too, Granny D. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for your kind words. Hi, Priscilla. Thank you. Thank you. No,
I
it's not
agree. Giving me
time.
goals too, Katrin. Katrin says, lovely blanket, giving me goals. Absolutely, I agree.
Oh, thank you. Giving me goals now. Yes. No, it's Happily Hooked. I'm subscribed to Happily Hooked, and it's from their January. Thank you, David. Thanks, everybody. I think that, unless there's any other questions here, thank you, Alma. Happily Hooked. It's a US subscribers, and I subscribed, and this was the month you get monthly magazines, and this was in the January magazine.
May I say one thing before we go, just because I want to make sure that everybody knows that Dee O'Keefe was really so kind to let us do this pattern. And I just want to encourage you guys to go check out her other patterns. She's such a beautiful knitwear designer. We have a link to her pattern store and Ravelry in the description box below. And when I say a special thank you to Dee, in case she is watching, we are really grateful and thankful that you're letting us teach this shawl pattern.
And they would like to see a close-up of your finished shawl, please, Gina.
Oh, okay, hold on 1 second. I got to pull my ears out.
Well, so happy I can knit and crochet. Me too, Sylvia. Me too. Please put your shawls up to the camera again. So I'll do Gina, and you can see Gina's. I'll put Gina's solo. So I'm going to put you solo, okay, honey?
Okay, I'm going to hold it back initially so you guys can see it, the size of it, and then I'll pull it up close. This is the size of it. See? And then this is it close up. As you can see the center stitch, you can see the different lace over sections, and you can see how it goes down into the leaf section. And I blocked it to a point. That's the center part. Sorry, I got a fan, so sorry it's gonna blow a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's really it. You got those little flower sections, and then again at the edge you end up having those leaves, which I love. The leaves are so pretty.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. I love leaves.
And that's mine.
Okay. Right, here's mine. So oh, hold on, I've got it back to front now. So this is mine.
So pretty.
And then as you can see, I've got the nice leaves, and then the little flowers, and then the leaves, and I've done mine to points as well, but my points aren't as prominent as Gina's, mainly because I used the wrong side needle. But hey ho, I'm still quite happy with it, considering this was my first lace shawl. You know, we all have to learn somewhere. So I hope you enjoyed that. It is, Katrine.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. I'm sure everybody's shawl at the end of this will look just awesome, absolutely awesome. And we're absolutely delighted, and we can't thank you enough for joining us on this journey. And
let's see, Priscilla said, how long did it take us to make them? Do you remember when we did it, Linda? I
think mine took me about 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
If you worked on it every day, it would probably take, a week.
Yeah.
But we both were kind of knitting it as we had time. We got started a little bit. We were planning this a few months ago, So we both kind of were doing things at the same time. Yeah, it took me a few weeks as well, and 2 or 3 weeks. But I think if you just focused on it, you can do it a little faster.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody who came up today to join us. And thank you to all our crochet friends who supported us. I must say thank you to them for joining us, giving us a thumbs up and just being here. And we will see you. I know on Tuesday, Gina will have her tutorial going live at, is it 10 a.m. Central? 4 p.m. British summertime, 11 a.m. Eastern. My tutorial, Crystal, will be on Tuesday early in the morning. More than likely still be late your night. But so by the time you get up in the morning, the tutorial will be there. And for cast on and back forth knit. So I will get that sorted this weekend and get it scheduled and put up on Tuesday. And if you would like to say something before we sign off, Gina?
I'm just thankful you guys, like what Linda said, it's just so nice that you guys came today, that you guys have a lot of interest in this. It is so much fun to knit this along with you, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's beautiful shawls. Just think at the end of November, you're going to have a lace shawl that you made yourself. So that's the goal, and to have a lot of fun. I don't want anybody to stress during this process. This is supposed to be fun. Yes. And we're all here to help each other. So don't hesitate to ask any questions, and we'll all get through it together.
Crystal, I would use a double knit. If you're a beginner, double knit, DK. If you're in America, I think it's a 3-weight yarn. Handmade designs. If you've not got a finger weight, use a DK, but use a bigger needle, say a 5.5. Divergent, use a 5.5 DK. And I think that's it from both of us today. Hope you come back. The next live is on Gina's channel, which will be on the 18th of September at 4 p.m. British summertime, 10 a.m. Central Eastern time. Yay!
That's right. And that's a Saturday too. That's a Saturday.
Yes, it's Saturday. My lives are going to be on a Monday. Gina's lives are going to be on a Saturday. Everything will let everybody know the new dates. So take care, everybody. Stay safe. Bye-bye for now. Bye.
Good day.